In the late 17th century, a person standing on the Malabar coast would have observed a world in rapid transition. Visitors from distant lands arrived with a focus on commerce and the acquisition of territory. They came to calculate the price of pepper or to secure the location of a new port. However, one specific project looked past the trade routes. It looked directly into the soil. We are getting into one of the most significant botanical works ever produced by human hands. The effort took 30 years to complete. The final result spans 12 massive volumes and contains 791 copperplate illustrations. Even after 4 centuries, the detail in the pages remains so precise that a modern scientist can identify every species listed without a second thought. The work is titled Hortus Malabaricus, which translates to the Garden of Malabar. Behind the Latin text and the Dutch printing presses lies a story of deep cross-cultural collaboration. The documentation serves as a record of an unlikely meeting between a European official and the ancient knowledge traditions of the region. In a time of conflict, these individuals chose to document life. Today, the goal is to explore how a book became the first major scientific work on tropical botany and why it remains a masterpiece of shared human knowledge. To appreciate these illustrations, one must understand the artistic currents flowing through Europe at the time. The Hortus Malabaricus is a direct extension of the Renaissance style of art. This movement favored a rigorous adherence to realism and the mathematical study of form. In the same way that Leonardo da Vinci dissected the human body to map the muscles, the artists of this project dissected the flora of Malabar to map the structure of life. The 17th century was a period where the cabinet of curiosities became a hallmark of the intellectual elite. There was a hunger for images that could bring the exotic world into the European study. These engravings were not merely functional, they were high art. They utilized the Baroque mastery of light and shadow, often referred to as the Chiaroscuro, to give the flat page a sense of three-dimensional volume. The Dutch artists who engraved these plates in Amsterdam were trained in a tradition that valued the still life. They treated a simple pepper wine or a coconut husk with the same reverence a painter might treat a royal portrait. Every curve of a leaf and every knot in the wood was rendered with a precision that celebrated the underlying geometry of nature. This was the moment when the artistic curiosity of the Renaissance met the biological diversity of the tropics. Most colonial texts of that era ignored the experts who provided the information. Usually, the names of local contributors were erased to give the appearance of a solo European achievement. Hortus Malabaricus is different. Hendrik van Rheede, born on April 13, 1636, knew that without the local scholars, the project was impossible. He ensured the names were recorded for eternity. The primary source for the botanical knowledge was Itty Achuthan. He was a physician from the Kollat family of Kadakarapalli who belonged to the Ezhava community. He practiced the Hoda tradition of herbal knowledge, a system passed down through generations. He worked alongside 3 Konkani Brahmin physicians, Ranga Bhatt, Vinayaka Pandit and Appu Bhatt. For the first time in a European printed book, the Malayalam script appears alongside the Latin. The names of the plants appear as they were spoken by the people who lived among them. The testimony of Itty Achuthan is printed right at the start of the work. He explicitly states that he provided the knowledge from ancient family manuscripts on palm leaves. The project was a moment where the paper and ink came from Europe, but the wisdom came from the local tradition. The involvement of these 4 men represents a rare instance of intellectual honesty. They were the architects of the information. The text is a multilingual tapestry featuring Latin, Malayalam, Arabic and Devanagari, reflecting a world where different cultures leaned on each other to reach a higher understanding of the environment. The technical execution of the 12 volumes is a peak achievement of the printing revolution. There were no cameras in the 17th century. The process of turning a living plant into a printed image was a massive logistical feat. Artists drew the specimens in Kerala, working in the heat and humidity to capture the plants before they wilted. These drawings were then loaded onto ships and sent across the ocean to Amsterdam. In Amsterdam, master engravers used fine steel tools called burins to etch the images into copperplate. This required a steady hand and months of labor for a single illustration. The engraver had to translate the organic fluid lines of a tropical plant into a series of rigid cross-hatched metal grooves. Because the drawings traveled by sea, many were lost to shipwrecks or damaged by the salt air. In some cases, the artists in Amsterdam had to wait months for a new specimen to arrive from Kochi just to finish a single leaf. One can observe the veins in the leaves and the exact texture of the bark. The drawings were accurate because the local physicians insisted on showing the plants in all their stages: the seed, the sprout, the flower, and the root. Every line was cut by hand into metal, a labor that matches the complexity of the plants themselves. This work acts as a bridge between European artistic mastery and the biological reality of the tropics. The publication of the volumes between 1678 and 1693 was only the beginning of its influence. Shortly after, between 1697 and 1701, the Horti Medici Amstellodomensis appeared, documenting these same plants in the Botanical Gardens of Amsterdam. This follow-up work showed that the flora of Malabar held secrets that were universal. By the time Carl Linnaeus was born on May 23, 1707, Hortus Malabaricus was already a standard text for scholars across Europe. When Linnaeus published his masterpiece, Species Plantarum, in 1753, he relied heavily on the work of Van Rheede and his team. Linnaeus cited the Malabar text hundreds of times. The names and descriptions provided by Achuthan and the Konkani physicians became the foundation for the scientific names used today. Many of the descriptions found in modern biology textbooks began as observations recorded on a palm leaf in Kerala 4 centuries ago. The drawings provided a visual language that science still uses to categorize life. It proves that when knowledge is shared across borders, the result lasts forever. Today, scientists use the volumes to track the species that might be endangered or lost. The work helps the human race understand how the landscape has shifted over 4 centuries. It serves as a baseline for the biodiversity of the Western Ghats, which is one of the most important biological hotspots on the planet. These volumes hold more than just facts and figures. They hold the efforts and the spirits of the people who made them. Hortus Malabaricus is a testament to the idea that knowledge belongs to the world. It belongs to the human race, not a single person or a single empire. The ancestral home of Itty Achuthan still stands as a silent witness to this history. The plants he described still grow in the backyards and the hills of the region. When a person opens these volumes, they are not just looking at a relic of the past, they are reclaiming a piece of a global scientific and cultural identity. The pages contain the legacy of human observation printed in the finest ink. If a chance arises to see a copy of the book, look closely at the Malayalam script etched into the copperplates. The text is a reminder that while empires change and borders are redrawn, the green world remains. The connection to the land is a common thread that time cannot erase. It is a history of a place viewed through the eyes of those who stood there before, trying to understand the life surrounding them. They saw a world that was interconnected, and they left us the map to find our way back to that understanding. If you found the exploration of the archives interesting, please like the video. The action helps the algorithm share the story with more people. If a favorite local plant exists that should have been in the book, or if the illustrations are familiar, share that in the comments. Every comment is read. Thank you for joining the look at the Garden of Malabar. The next chapter will arrive soon.